So this podcast is going to be about listening. Now, for years, I have been a terrible listener, and I always try to give people, give them my ear, literally. And so for years, I thought I was such a good listener because I would give people an ear. I would shut my mouth and really hear what they have to say. Until I got married. And then my husband, he would always say, "You are a poor listener." And I understood what he was saying because he was such a good listener. I knew it. I couldn't even rebut him because when I would be finished with a conversation with him, I know through and through whether he agreed with what I said or not. I knew and I felt heard. And getting feedback from him that I wasn't a good listener, I didn't know what to do about it. But it actually took, we've been married for almost 9 years, and it took me a long time to understand not just how to be a good listener, but why I wasn't a good listener and why most of us in this world aren't good listeners. And I think it starts right back to when people use the word listen. It has all to do with the ears and actually hearing the words that the other person is speaking. But I asked myself the other day, what instrument do we use to listen? And it was very interesting because all my life I thought, of course you use the ears to listen. But let me digress a little bit and then I'll explain why. So yesterday, my son and I, we were walking. We went for a little treat, a little pasteles. And a dragonfly landed on my head. And I couldn't see it, but I knew it was a dragonfly. And then when I looked down at the shadow, I saw, okay, the figure of a dragonfly. Still to this day, I did not see the dragonfly. But I heard it. I felt it. And I saw it. Because I am so in tune right now with my senses that I don't need that much stimulus. Because I realize that we don't see with the eyes, we don't hear with the ears. Everything is processed in the brain, in your mind. So it made me think about just how many times you see people walking around and they get cut or they're hurt and they didn't even process it until they saw it, or somebody else saw it and say, hey, this is happening. But I went on a deep dive about listening because you listen actually with your brain, with your mind, not just your ears. And I think that's why, for me, that I was a poor listener because I heard the words coming out. I can hear the words coming out of your mouth, right? But because there was either no frame of reference, meaning I have no experience with what you're talking about, or I already have in my mind what you mean. And so I'm trying to fit your words in with my definition of what you're trying to say. And so I realized, poor listening is a mental thing. And if you don't have mental clarity or even mental space to pick up what your sense organs are perceiving, you're not going to perceive it. So I am on a journey to become a better listener because I think communication is so very, very important. And at the root of communication is not only the ability to express your true feelings and intentions, but it's also the ability to receive the purest thought of another person. I think that's why language was created, why writing was created. Everything we do, we're just trying to communicate with each other. And I realized as I grow in consciousness, the whole entire body was meant to be an instrument of communication between us and our outside world. And for example, when that dragonfly landed on my hair, I remember when I would wear braids or when I would have my hair in like a wig or weaves or whatever, that dragonfly would still been on my head to this day. I wouldn't even have known that a dragonfly was on my head. And it was just really interesting to me. You know, this is the first time I experienced it, but having not, how sensitive it was, like the dragonfly was on my skin. I felt it so much. I was just so in tune. The moment it landed on me, I felt it, and it made me think about how important it is, to just not. I mean, everybody have beauty preferences and stuff, but it just made me think how important it is not to alter too much what we were created with, because everything is by wonderful design. So that was just my thought about, how to listen. I think in this season and in this time, a lot of the listening that we need from our environment and from the people around us, um, it's a little bit ethereal, ethereal. I don't know if that's what you're saying, but kind of like on a spiritual level, where you kind of not just have to listen to the words that someone speaks, but kind of pick up on their energy, and their tone and their body language, and just sometimes you can just feel the vibrations coming out from them to kind of know where they are, so that just so you can be able to respond in a way that is gonna promote a relay, or a relay of information or a relay of resonance, so that you can have some type of healthy relationship with that person. So that's just my thoughts on listening, and I just wanted to share it. um, my goal is to listen better, not just to words, but to vibes, to energy, to body language, to the environment, right? The plants and the trees, you can listen to them too. The birds, the animals, the dogs, just everything in my environment, so that I can have a beneficial relationship with everything that I come in contact with. Okay?